Now we're ready to take a look at factoring trinomials with the leading coefficient not equal to 1. Anytime we have a trinomial with the leading coefficient not equal to 1, our first step should be to see if we could factor out the leading coefficient. So for example, I have 3x squared plus 9x plus 6. Hopefully you notice that 3, 9, and 6 are all divisible by 3, so I'm going to factor the 3 out. That leaves me with x squared plus 3x plus 2. From there, we use our strategies to factor trinomials, and we look at the plus sign in front of the 2, which tells me both of my terms will have the same sign, which is the plus in front of the 3. So I have x plus and x plus. The only factors of 2 are 2 and 1, so that makes it easy to factor. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, and we're done. Let's try a few more. I have 5x squared plus 5x minus 30. Again, I see that 5 goes into all three terms, so I take it out. I have x squared plus x minus 6. This time, the negative sign tells me when I factor, I'll have an x plus and an x minus. So I need factors of 6 that give me 1. If I think about 1 and 6, and I have 2 and 3, I know that the bigger term will be positive and the smaller term will be negative. So 6 minus 1 is 5, 3 minus 2 is 1, so I want to use the 3 and negative 2. Let's say plus 3 and negative 2. Now I have 7x cubed plus 14x squared plus 7x. I like this one because it is a trinomial, but it's not a power 2 like we've been doing before. So when I look for the greatest common factor, I'm going to factor out the 7 because it goes into 7, 14, and 7, but I'm also going to take out an x because all three terms have an x included. So this time let's factor out 7x as our GCF. That leaves me with x squared plus 2x plus 1. So I write 7x, and then I'm looking for two binomials as factors. 1 only has factors of 1 and 1. The positive in front of the 1 and the positive in front of the 2 tells me that they're both going to be positive, and then x squared factors into x and x. So I have 7x times x plus 1 times x plus 1. This particular one we could write as 7x times x plus 1 squared. The squared is because I have the same term twice. As we keep going, we are going to come to some that you can't factor out the leading coefficient. When that happens, we are going to use the AC method. A is the coefficient of x squared, B is the coefficient of x, and C is our constant term. Using the AC method means we are going to find factors of AC that give us B. So let's try that with the trinomial 3x squared plus 17x plus 10. We'll start by saying that the value of A is 3, the value of C is 10. 3 times 10 gives me 30. I can still use the same strategies about the signs in front of B and C. The positive in front of the C says to look at the positive in front of the B, and I know that both of my factors will be positive. Factors of 30 are 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3, 10, 6, and 5. I want factors that add up to 17, which is 2 and 15. Now we're going to rewrite our trinomial. I'll say 3x squared plus 2x plus 15x plus 10. So when we find our two factors of the C term that add up to B, we rewrite B as the sum of those two terms. Now I'm going to factor by grouping. I take the 3x squared and the 2x, the 15x plus 10. I'm looking for what 3x squared and 2x have in common. The only thing I see is an x, so I'm going to take it out. That leaves me with 3x plus 2. When I look at 15x and 10, they both have a 5 in common. 5 goes into 15x 3x times. 5 goes into 10 2 times. Notice I have a 3x plus 2 on the left. I have a 3x plus 2 on the right. I'm going to factor that out. And then I put the other two terms together, which is x plus 5. Let's try that a few more times. I have 6x squared minus 23x minus 4. I have 6 times negative 4, which is negative 24. I need factors of negative 24 that add up to negative 23. So I start with 1 and 24. Remember, the bigger number will be negative, so I have negative 24 and 1. That's immediately the factoring that I need, so I'm going to stop and put that in. So I have 6x squared plus x minus 24x minus 4. We'll group the first two together. We'll group the second two together. 6x squared and x have an x in common. It leaves me with 6x plus 1. Negative 24x minus 4 have negative 4 in common. When I take that out, I get 6x plus 1. Be really careful with your negative signs. Remember, you want the two terms to match, so taking the negative sign out was really important to make sure we got 6x plus 1 for both of our terms. Now I can take the 6x plus 1 out, and I'm left with x minus 4. The next one says 10x squared plus x minus 2. So I start with 10 times negative 2 gives me negative 20. I'm looking for factors of negative 20 that give me a positive 1. So I think 1 and 20, I think 2 and 10, I think 4 and 5. This time, the bigger number is positive, the smaller number is negative. If I look at negative 4 plus 5, that would give me a positive 1. So I have 10x squared minus 4x plus 5x minus 2. I group the first two, I group the second two. 10x squared and 4x, well, they're both even, so I can take out a 2. They both have an x, I'll take out an x. 2 goes into 10 5 times, I still have an x. 4x divided by 2x leaves me with 2. Now that you're looking at the 5x minus 2 and you see that there's nothing in common, we're just going to leave the 5x minus 2 there, but we want to put a 1 on the outside. So we always want something in front of our binomial. This will happen anytime you don't see a common factor, you'll just put a 1 there. So they always have something that you can pull out. I see 5x minus 2, I see 5x minus 2, that looks great, so I take out the 5x minus 2. Then what do I have left over? I have a 2x plus 1. I think it's important to point out that the order of the factors doesn't really matter when you write them down. So what I mean is, when I expressed 10x squared minus 4x plus 5x minus 2, I could have also said 10x squared plus 5x minus 4x minus 2. So the order that I write the factors doesn't make a difference. You would still group them by 2's, but this time 10x squared and 5x would have a 5x in common, which would leave me with 2x plus 1. The negative 4x minus 2 have a negative 2 in common, which would give me 2x plus 1. The 2x plus 1 matches, so I pull that out, and I'm left with 5x minus 2. So I think it's important to see that you get the same thing either way you factor it, and it gives you choices. If you don't like the way it looks the first time, you can rewrite it and try again. Let's try one more. I have 2x squared minus 11x plus 12. I start with 2 times 12, which is 24. Make sure you notice that the sign of the b term is negative. So as I'm factoring this 24, I want two negative numbers. So I could have negative 1 and negative 24, negative 2 and negative 12. I could have negative 3 and negative 8. I could have negative 4 and negative 6. I want the sum to be negative 11, which is negative 3 and negative 8. I'm going to write that as 2x squared minus 3x minus 8x plus 12. Group the first two, group the second two. 2x squared minus 3x, I take an x out, I have 2x minus 3. Negative 8x plus 12, I'm going to take out a minus 4, which gives me 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3 being in both terms, so I can take that out, which leaves me with x minus 4. As always, you can check your answer by multiplying it back out.